Colleen Ballinger has been trying to get back to how things once were for her ever since she returned back to YouTube in November. She's got right back into daily vlogging, which she did say that this year she would be taking a step back from that to focus on other projects, but for the most part, Colleen has been trying to get back to what she was doing prior to her cancellation. And it looks like she's only continuing that process by bringing back the podcast that she had with her husband Eric called Relax. The last episode they posted was last June. 2 weeks after this episode was posted, it was reported that sponsors for their podcast had dropped out and they didn't return to doing the podcast. At least until now, it seems, as she said in her recent vlog, that they are in talks to start doing it again.
Do you know what the #1 comment is that I get on all of my vlogs? It's not about me, it's not about my kids, it's not about my career, it's not about my mental health, it's not about my struggles, it's not about the things I've been through. It's about Relax the Podcast. I get more questions about Relax the Podcast than anything else on this vlog channel. And today, we're talking about it. Relax the Podcast is my husband and my podcast, and we stopped doing it halfway through the year last year. And we've been wanting to do it again, but things have been hectic and hard and crazy and just all over the place. Eric was like, hey, let's have a little production meeting and get started on Relax again. And I was like, yes. So today, Eric and I are doing a little production meeting together in like 15 minutes. So I actually need to hurry the heck up so that we can do that. But I'm really excited, you guys. It's gonna be so fun.
So she's saying there's demand for this podcast, for her to bring it back, and she explained her own reasonings for wanting to bring it back, one of which being that it gives her time to spend with her husband.
Like I said, I do get like a bajillion comments about the podcast constantly. It's like the #1 comment I usually get. And I was thinking about it and I was like, oh my gosh, wait, yeah, Eric's not in my vlogs very much. Well, Eric's always been like more timid about being online and on social media, this in general. He's very shy and more quiet in most situations. However, we're at a point now where if you guys see me vlogging like right now, like someone's gotta be with the kids, you know what I mean? Even if we have like our fabulous, beautiful, wonderful nanny around, watching all 3 kids at once is a little hectic most times. And so usually Eric will take Flynn while our nanny has the twins or vice versa, or you know, we switch off. So if I'm with the kids, Eric's having a moment or making them dinner. We feel like we literally do not see each other until the kids are asleep. That's one of the reasons we love the podcast, is because it forces us to sit down and kind of have a date night at least once a week where we're just sitting and talking to each other for like an hour or two with no interruptions and just like fully focused attention on each other, as opposed to like spending that time watching TV or on our phones or doing other things. So like that's one of the reasons we love the podcast.
And I know this might shock people, but there is demand, I will say that. And it's not hard to find in her comment section because it is pretty heavily filtered. So you can only see positivity in there. And there are tons of people who are expressing that they love the podcast and can't wait for it to come back. And like I said, I'm sure it's shocking to a lot of people to see this because of how much Colleen has been called out in the last couple of months. But people in her comment section were saying things like, I can't believe my favorite podcast is coming back, OMG, yay for the podcast, OMG, I'm so happy to see all Ballingers back, it was a better holiday, I'm so excited for the podcast to come back, while we've missed you, we've also missed Eric, yay, I'm so very excited to hear that Relax is coming back. Like, I guess these people just don't care or don't know what's come out about Colleen because they're clearly sending her all this love and saying that they want the show back. And when I was looking on Twitter at some of the reactions to this news, I must say that it was quite shocking as well. It was very positive, with one person writing, Relax the podcast is coming back. And one of the replies that really shook me was this one that said, yes, Colleen's slowly getting her life back from those monsters. When I saw that, I was for sure surprised there was just so much support for this podcast, and that this is the way that someone was interpreting all that's happened in the last couple of months as Colleen being this victim in this scenario, which I will say from the videos that I have made since Colleen's return, that the things that she is saying in her vlogs about the time that she spent away during her cancellation, I'm sure that if you only ever watched Colleen's videos and watched nothing that's come out about her, you would probably like not know the severity of the things that have been said and probably feel for her. And once again, I'm saying if you did not watch anything or read anything about any of the things that have come out and you strictly were a Colleen fan, and you're only watching her content talking about her time away, I'm sure that you would. She's talking about things like thoughts of self-harm, not being able to do the house projects that she thought she was because she said she wasn't making money last summer. Like, if you're only hearing these things from her, of course you're going to feel for her. Meanwhile, I think a lot of people that have seen everything that's come out are like, well, you could have handled it better. You could have not done a lot of the things that you did. You could have addressed things better. The ukulele video didn't help anything. There are just like a lot of factors of everything happening here. But somehow, despite all that's been said, there is this positivity and people wanting this podcast. And she kept talking about the fact that there have been so many people asking about it.
And I'm so excited to bring Relax the Podcast back because I have missed doing it so freaking much. And I don't know when the first episode's coming out, but I do think and hope that it will be soon. So just, keep your eyes out. I'm trying to set up today the cameras and the lights and everything and see if we can make it look cool and different than we've done in the past and start fresh. But I don't know when this is all gonna happen. We're just gonna have to be patient and see. Regardless of when it comes out, we're excited for it to come out, and I'm so grateful and appreciative and excited that so many of you are excited about Relax and have been asking about it nonstop for so long, because it makes us realize and understand how many people out there really love and appreciated the show and want to see it again, which is very exciting and very motivating to get back to work on it. So thank you for all the love and support on the podcast, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
And even though there is a very strong positive fan base that she has, I must say that I'm still surprised that she would want to do this podcast again, especially with sponsors having dropped out last year. And I'm not sure if they're still signed to a podcast network or not, but Trisha had talked about it before that Colleen was signed, and when she went to go ask them if they would want to do a deal with her and Trisha when they were doing their podcast, they claimed that they did not want any drama. At least according to Colleen. She had told Trisha that they didn't want to sign them because Trisha had been in drama in the past and she was problematic. So it would be really interesting to know if Colleen was still signed, because if she is, that's really weird that they would say no to Trisha but stand by Colleen. Especially since, yes, Trisha has been problematic, but at the time that she was starting her podcast with Colleen, her reputation was kind of on the up, and people had been saying that they felt like she had changed after having her daughter, and it wasn't anywhere near the level of Colleen's current reputation. So, like I said, it would be really interesting if they stuck by her through all of this, but declined working with Trisha. I mean, truly their loss in the end, because Trisha ended up thriving on her podcast. Whether people want to admit that or not, she has gathered quite the audience around her podcast, and people love her more than ever, I feel. So I'm sure this company is kicking themselves for not working with her while they had the chance. But as for Colleen, with her bringing back the podcast, I really wonder what else she has in the works to bring back this year, and if she will dare bring back her Miranda character as well. Obviously, Miranda has been a huge part of Colleen's career, but also was a huge part of her downfall and what she was called out for. So for her to bring this back would be a choice. It's unclear if she will or not, but with this trend of bringing stuff back, I guess we can't be too surprised if she does. But if she does, she really needs to not cater that kind of content towards children. If she wants to do Miranda, it's got to be for adults, because that's what her jokes are. They're adult jokes. She claimed during her cancellation that her videos are not on YouTube Kids, and that she's always trusted parents, that they would be the ones to determine what was appropriate for their kids to watch, and that it shouldn't be on her to make sure that she is making kid-friendly content or not. But Miranda has always attracted a younger audience, and her making videos with JoJo Siwa certainly adds to that. I'm sure Colleen knows who her audience is. She knows how old they are. Her analytics were certainly telling her that, but it's obviously bad to admit, like, I'm making these inappropriate jokes and I know that kids are watching, but that's literally the case. Like, she was making videos with JoJo Siwa, and JoJo Siwa, at the time that they were making these videos, JoJo was young. She was the face of Nickelodeon. Of course, these videos are going to be seen by kids. So there's no denying that she knew kids were going to be clicking, but it'll be interesting to see if Miranda makes a return. There's been tons of people who have said over the last couple of months that she should retire her after all that's come out and been said, but stating that she hasn't really confirmed that to be the case yet. I think she's undecided and maybe just feeling it out to see if it's a possibility to bring her back or not. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think Colleen will also bring back Miranda like she's brought back her vlogs and now it seems her podcast? Or do you think Miranda has had her time and should be retired? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.